Hello everybody, Bobster1984 here to do a review, and I need to really talk about what happened last night. Newcastle United losing 3-1 away to Nottingham Forest in the League Cup second round. An absolute shambles of a performance. But it's not really the game as a whole I want to talk about. It's everything together, the whole package, and what is happening us as a fan base since the Chelsea game on Sunday. I think a lot of people are getting a bit carried away, are getting very upset, getting very annoyed and vocal, and starting to really put a lot of doubt into Rafa Benitez and the team. And I feel that somebody needs to come out and say exactly how it is, and I feel like I've always done that. One of the reasons why I don't do preview videos anymore is because I always feel like nobody's really interested in what I think's going to happen. People are more interested in what I feel after the result. So I don't do any preview or anything like that anymore. But I do feel that something needs to be said. And, Newcastle really did put in a defensive performance against Chelsea. Everybody's analysed it. Everybody knows, obviously, what happened. We had 19% possession. Everyone has obviously had their opinion, on TV, on Sky, and everything like that. I'm going to take you back to last season. We played defensive football at home to Man City and lost 1-0. We played defensive football away to Man City and lost 3-1. Those two games in particular, if we went all out attack and tried to match Man City, we would get an absolute tonking. Now, our goal difference was better than anyone below us in the Premier League. Now, that's not a coincidence. If we'd actually went at these teams and actually gave it a go in terms of going hell for leather, we would have probably lost 4, 5, 6-0. So that you're adding an extra 10 goals potentially on our goal difference, which could have made all the difference. Obviously, it didn't turn out that way. We ended up going on a good run and getting ourselves safe. But if we didn't, then, that goal difference really could come into it. And I felt like we had chances in the first half. We had a couple of good chances in that first half against Chelsea where we could have maybe snatched a goal. I understand, obviously, the frustration where you're at home, go for it and give it a go. I do understand all of that. But to come out after the game and to say that Rafa Benitez is no longer good enough to be our manager, Rafa Benitez needs to do this, needs to do that, needs to do the other. You all need to give your heads a severe shaking as far as I'm concerned. This is the same squad virtually, apart from obviously, quite a few new signings, which is rare for us. This is the same squad that finished 10th, same manager. There's an air of negativity that unfortunately is a stigma with us Newcastle fans. We're very quick to get on the back of anybody. Any player that has half an hour that doesn't play very well, and I'm going to give you an example. Last season we signed Kennedy on loan for 6 months. He had an amazing 6 months at this club, and he was praised. Everyone loved him. Everyone wanted him to come back. But spend 20 million. It'll be 20 million well spent. He's had a poor game against Cardiff and a poor game last night, and all of a sudden everybody's now seeing he's shite. And I think you all need to give your heads a shake, because that's just ridiculous. Players can have bad runs. Players can go through runs where they don't score goals. Alan Shearer went games after games where he didn't score, 5 or 6. Did he get at Alan Shearer's back like that? I don't think so. You know what I mean? I think you all need to start calming down. We're 4 games into a Premier League season. We're playing Man City on Saturday. We're going to get tanked, but as long as we know we're going to get beat. Yeah, I know we all want to put the effort in. We want to show that we're trying. But you need to seriously back off in terms of getting on Kennedy's back for a performance against Cardiff, which it was poor. Yeah, it was poor. He was poor last night, but he's already shown what he can do. He's a young lad. Get behind him. Now we're going to talk about last night, the Nottingham Forest game. I thought the team that Benitez put out was fine. I don't see any problem in blooding Longstaff. I really don't. I think it's good that we're going to give him a chance. See what he can do. He's had a good pre-season. You know, Sterry has already shown in previous appearances that he looks all right. You know, he's getting to that age where he needs starting to play a lot more football, and I don't think he's going to get it at our club, but at least we're giving him a chance. And I thought, you know, with that squad that would put out, it was probably good enough to get through the third round, to be honest. And then after 2 minutes, we're 1-0 down. Darren Murphy, you know, doing what Darren Murphy does, and to be fair to him, he didn't celebrate. But what worried me massively about last night's performance is how we did not test their defence and their goalkeeper. And we looked like a championship side last night, and that was quite frightening. We were, you know, beaten quite easily by Nottingham Forest. I know we obviously scored, gave ourselves a glimmer, and it was good to see Rondon score. It was a good finish. But overall, I thought the performance was poor. One of the worst I've ever seen. And again, some of the comments I seen last night were just ridiculous. You know, some people were saying, right, we need to get Rafa Benitez out. I want Chris Hughton back at this club. We've not played any, you know, he played the best football since Bobby Robson. I'm thinking to myself, what? I mean, I've got nothing against Chris Hughton. Yes, we played some lovely football in the Championship. We played some good football in the Premier League before he got sacked, and he didn't deserve to get sacked. But at the end of the day, I don't think Chris Hughton or Rafa Benitez, I know who I would prefer. You know, the criticism is just a little bit over the top at the minute. And I think a lot of people need to just calm yourselves down. You know, as I said, we're 4 games into a league. We're not having started very well. We knew that this was going to be a hard start to the Premier League. We knew that we were going to struggle. Let's get on with it. Let's support the lads. You know what I mean? And see what happened. You know, we know what's happened in the summer. We know that not enough money was spent. More money should have been spent. Whether Rafa was promised it, whether he wasn't, is for other people to debate. What I'm here to say is, Newcastle United will always be here. Will always never. You know, that's the crack that we try to say. We are a city. He's just one man. And for us, for fans to start already, you know, getting on people's backs, such as Kennedy, it's just showing how fickle some people can be. You know, some fans across the country call Newcastle fans fickle, and unfortunately are proving that. Some of the comments that you say on Twitter gives your heads a shake. You know what I mean? It's just ridiculous. As far as I'm concerned, we'll be okay eventually. We've got to get past this bad start, this bad run of games, and then we can start our season in style, hopefully. But I mean, that's just my opinion. You can comment all you want on me on my channel down below if you want. If you don't agree with what I say, that's fine. I welcome it. But you know, it's one thing to give criticism, but it's one thing to be giving criticism when it's a little bit too soon. Anyway, I just thought I'd do a video giving my thoughts on the past week as a Newcastle fan. Thanks for watching.